First time I open Dota, it's always like this. It's always kind of slow loading it. There it is. Guys, welcome back to the Galaxy Battle, which I still maintain is like the coolest name for a tournament that you can possibly get. I mean, you know, Star Wars, right? That's immediately what it evokes. If you went and looked at the video file that was playing in the wait screen, like, I mean, lots of tournaments have that stars swirling around, but it makes sense in Galaxy Battles. We got some lower bracket action, VRFGC, which honestly I have zero idea what that stands for, if it stands for anything at all. They're going to be taking on Mad Kings, as Mad Kings and VRFG. Actually, no, VRFG won their first round and then got knocked out by T-Show. And this is the second round losers bracket. Again, loser is out. Winner has to face up against that team T-Show. And it's going to be one of the two games of the day. We got Stars and Midas Club of Victory coming up a little bit later. We started on time, but I had to wait for a very long time because you can see Mad Kings, they lost all their reserve time because they just wouldn't make a ban. And then they ultimately decided Winter Wyvern. It's a pretty good one. But yeah. We'll see. Hopefully the games are going to be pretty good. I'm Mike Lars, going to be your caster for this game. Quick sweep of the bans. Night Stalker is still in. We have a rather early ban of Bat Rider and Queen of Pain. Heroes that we've seen picked up very frequently. Are they first ban powerful? Probably. Are they very frequently seen in the first ban slot? Probably not. It was interesting to see for sure. Spirit Breaker as well, an interesting one. VRF. I gotta find some way of shorthanding VRFGC, because that's just not, that's way too much to say in one go. But yeah, they'll take out the Spirit Breaker, which is a hero that yesterday we saw absolutely none of. Not picked, not banned, not a single time. I mean, definitely not first banned. So very interesting to see these teams' different takes on this new hero, on this 4 position. It's not a new hero at all. But they'll pick up an Earth Spirit with the Marana, not going for that Bane opening that we saw a lot yesterday. But still, this is a pretty solid opening in all respects, really. I mean, you get the Marana, the power of Marana, very similar to the power of Vengeful Spirit. You can stick her anywhere with a pretty high degree of success. The Earth Spirit as well, a hero that if you have a player on your team who can play Earth Spirit, will dominate the early game for you, almost guaranteed, and do some pretty insane stuff in the mid game. If you don't have an Earth Spirit player, well, you're probably just never going to pick the Earth Spirit. It's just the way it goes, and it definitely is a huge boon for teams that actually do have an Earth Spirit player. Because otherwise, like, if you're playing up against a team that you know does not play Earth Spirit, you obviously don't have to ban that out. You just take out the other 4 positions, the Clockworks, the Sand Kings, those type of heroes that usually, Night Stalker, that will be usually more straightforward. But still, it's going to be going up against Ancient Apparition and the Sand King, which is pretty nice opening for the Mad Kings as well. Of course, you do get this kind of 1-2 punch, assuming Ancient Apparition and Sand King are both played as support. But even if they're not, even if Sand King gets a little bit of off-lane action for himself, which may or may not be great depending on the matchups, but you will be able to rotate around off of a Burrow Strike, set up for a little bit of extra cold feet damage. Sand King is a hero that is more than happy to just right-click in on someone after a Burrow Strike for those chilling touch hits, although he doesn't have the most crowd control. A touch of slow from the Burrow Strike and Caustic finale, it's not glorious, but it'll be enough to at least force out big rotations from VRFG, get those leap charges out, force Marana to drink a salve, stuff like that. Again, it's no powerhouse combo, but it does add a lot of team fight, so it's more so looking towards the mid stages of the game than the super early. Ancient Apparition's okay as the only lane support, like as that full 5 position hero. You can certainly do worse than Ancient Apparition, but that being said, he's still pretty powerful in the mid game. More powerful is in a team fight context as opposed to someone like Bane, who honestly you don't want to be playing up against an Earth Spirit. That is just not fun. It's so easy to cancel Bane's channeling or just cancel Bane's effect at all in the game if you have an Earth Spirit on your team. Just save a kick or save that pull and you're good to go. Both sides, though, very open-ended as to what they actually want. I mean, we have potentially a mid-lane pick for VRFG, but I mean, with the fact that they have a last pick, in the game, in the draft, you would assume that the Marana is going to not really be completely dedicated to that mid lane, at least not yet. Going to try to hide the cards close to the chest, as it were. They'll take out the Ember as well as the Tiny, which is, Tiny in particular, a hero that we've seen a lot, but not from SA. I don't think I've seen a single SA Tiny. It's powerful. It really lays the smackdown, quite literally. And if you can get him a decent amount of farm, you can play that pretty old school style of Tiny. Ooh, hello. You play the old school style of Tiny where you're just, blinking around and killing people. We don't really see Blink Daggers first picked up all that often on Tinys, but I mean, you have those options. The power curve on Tiny nowadays is just so consistently high. There's not really a point in the game where you're like, well, my Tiny's done, can't do anything anymore. No, he will always be able to do at least something for you, even if he's not on the top of the net worth chart, which, given the farm speed of Tiny, usually he is. It'll be the Shadow Demon for the Mirana combo. Pretty nice setup there. A handy little save, of course, going up against single target heroes, Viper, Sand King, Burrow Strike, as a, just a pure defensive tool. Shadow Demon is a pretty good partner with that Mirana. With the Earth Spirit already on the roam, you don't really have to worry about a 4-position, super aggressive hero to pick up for VRFG. So, VRFGC. VR? We'll short it to VR. VRFGC is just way too long. At least add some vowels. Damn, guys. But yeah, they'll have a nice setup for that Mirana. And an okay setup for the Earth Spirit as well, though you typically don't need that. The Mad Kings will get a Viper as their third pick. Good amount of magic resistance on this hero. Even if you do go for a little more of an aggressive build with more poison attack, more Nether Toxin, which currently doesn't do all that much break-wise. Actually, doesn't do anything break-wise. Actually, nothing. Leap gives you a little bit of, I think you can break off the leap, but that's, like, irrelevant. It never really comes up in any meaningful fashion. I wish I could still look at the numbers right now. It gives you how much attack speed? 32 movement speed, 100 attack speed. I'm pretty sure you can break that off if you're a Viper. I mean, again, who cares? She has 3 charges. You're not going to get any value off of that. But still, a really nice defensive hero, magic resistance-wise, especially now. There's even more magic damage coming out from the VR side. Viper is just going to be a gigantic tank. Even if you do get tagged with an arrow here, though Mad Kings don't have any way of saving a Viper, they don't have a Shadow Demon of their own to just bubble up and save the Viper from any follow-up. You have to grind through so much HP with a very light physical damage draft from VR. The vast majority of their draft is going to be magic damage. And along those lines for Mad Kings, items like BKB, Pipe, Hood, these are going to be at a premium. Ooh, a Legion Commander, I love it. Well, Mad Kings, they've got themselves some style here, and that's going to obviously be their 4th pick, because duh, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's also kind of their 2nd pick. It's also kind of committing their Sand King, and that's the power of picking up a hero like Sand King early on. Remaining. You can go offlane, you can go support. Now, just seeing Sand King nowadays, you do assume he's going to be played as that 4 position. But now with the Legion Commander, they'll have a way of getting rid of Gale. It's dispellable now, wink wink nudge nudge, as well as that crucial Mirana arrow. You set up with a disruption, you set up with an arrow, you expect to get that kill every single time. And if you do use it on Legion Commander, she's probably dead. But you know what? If you do it on anyone else, she'll be able to swoop in and save. And we're talking about heroes like Viper, heroes like Sand King, generally heroes that, even like Sand King, even though he's not going to get a lot of farm, you don't expect him to have a lot of farm, he's generally more so on the bulky side. Being able to heal those heroes up is going to be so annoying for VRFGC. Again, they're very magic heavy, and Legion Commander is a hero that will get BKB, is a hero that will protect her allies against these dots with a heal of her own. A very solid pick. We see the Anti-Mage being banned out for very similar reasons. It's just completely immune to what VR have in their draft. Mad Kings will try to protect their Legion with that Ursa ban. Whoa! Whoo, new hero, PogChamp. Huskar is usually Huskar and Oracle, or Huskar and Dazzle. He's usually not seen as just Huskar, which is definitely a little bit of a change of pace here, but you're talking about going, oh dear, we got ourselves, I was going to say, like, Huskar up against all this magic damage, looks like he's an absolute all-star, but now it's going up against Broodmother, which is the best way to mess with a Huskar. I don't think the invisibility changes are going to matter too much in the Broodmother versus Huskar matchup in just a vacuum. Broodmother still will have those army of spiderlings, and Huskar will not be able to deal with those. In fact, maybe no Poor Man Shield hurts Huskar quite a bit. The fact that Mad Kings have no save means that this Huskar is not really the centerpiece of their draft. Like, if you do get Huskar Dazzle, Huskar Oracle, those classic Huskar combos, he's your centerpiece. You have to make sure to rally around him. If you don't, you will lose. But this game, if they lose a Huskar due to, I don't know, an arrow setup into Broodmother right clicks, that's not a big deal. They'll have the Legion Commander, they'll have the Viper. Not the biggest carries in the traditional sense, but for sure heroes that can pick up the slack should the Huskar fall once or twice. So, the Broodmother pick is certainly a really nice one up against that Huskar. It is going to have some trouble here as the Sand King at least used to be just an instant snap response pick to Broodmothers, in the sense that in lane, the Sand King will have a really good time. That is so bugged. What the hell just happened there? Burrow Strike, of course, a nice AoE ability. With the Epicenter, with the Caustic Finale, Broodmother Spiderlings are not safe. And going up against Legion Commander, a hero that is also picked up, or used to be picked up, as just a snap response to Broodmothers because of overwhelming odds. In case you guys don't know what it does, it kills you if you're with a lot of units. That's all you gotta know. It does some damage. Broodmother's usually with quite a few units. So the Broodmother pick, although it's really good up against Huskar, really good up against the AA and the Viper, is going to have a little bit of difficulty going up against the other two heroes of Mad King. So it's a pretty good response to the Huskar, though I do feel like the power level that Mad Kings have with the Huskar from that pick is a little bit more powerful than the kind of similarly cheesy pick of the Broodmother on the other end. I don't think you can call Broodmother or Huskar standard ever. So they're both kind of cheese. I do think Mad Kings are going to get the slightly better cheese, but it really does come down to how these lanes are going to go. Of course, we do have the SA pause because that's standard. I do think Mad Kings, from the limited exposure I've had of them, probably casted 3, 4, 5, probably like 5-ish Mad Kings best of 3s in the past couple months. It does feel like they have a lot of pauses. Come on, guys. Come on. Although this time it's VRFG's fault. We will be keeping track of whose fault it is, because that's the important thing. Let's see. Are there any small interactions here? There are quite a few kind of subtle interactions that we're going to have to watch out for. The Shadow Demon in this particular game doesn't really have an offensive disruption. If you steal Viper, I mean, the illusions have corrosive skin. That's kind of nice. That's about it. Illusions of Huskar are usually not going to be doing all that much. Illusions of Mirana, unless she's extremely stacked, are usually kind of underwhelming. Same thing for the Broodmother, so yeah, it's mostly just a setup hero. We do have Broodmother working with quite a bit of lifesteal in that Insatiable Hunger, which usually is, you know, it may make or break your fight, depending on how farmed your Broodmother is. And, of course, she has that Incapacitating Bite. Pretty darn handy when you're talking about man-fighting a hero like Huskar. Slardar is definitely not in this game. When you're talking about man-fighting a hero like Huskar, getting a 60% mischance, that's incredible. But the reason that I'm mentioning those two spells in particular is because you can break that off with the Nether Toxin. At least you can break off the Incapacitating Bite. The Insatiable Hunger obviously cannot be dispelled, but the lifesteal can be mitigated by the Ice Blast. You know, just these small mechanical things that are going to be coming into play here for the Broodmother, as she is going to have to worry about those. Again, break outside of that Broodmother context is going to be pretty much completely useless. Wow. No Poison Sting? Oh my god, how is the Venomancer going to survive? It's an impossibility. Literally will not be able to play the game without that. And maybe, maybe I'm placing a little bit too much priority on the Viper. Obviously, on the Viper's Nether Toxin, obviously the great strength of the Viper is the fact that he is an immovable hero from the mid lane. You do kind of have to force rotations on him, but going up against these particular heroes, Viper, unless he's going to be going mid versus the Broodmother, should be pretty gank immune. Even like a roll-in from an Earth Spirit usually will just kill anyone. Doesn't really do a lot versus the Viper unless he's probably like over here. If he's over here, like kind of close-ish to his tower, then should be fine most of the time. What else we got? Huskar. A mischance going to be very annoying for him. Other than that, Demonic Purge, that's definitely a thing. When you get the Aghanim Scepter, if you ever get the Aghanim Scepter, you do break, which can be pretty annoying. But even if you don't, it is still a Purge. Demonic Purge, you have quite a few things that you can actually take off. Inner Vitality, you get that heal from the Legion Commander. There's actually quite a bit of healing from the Mad King side, even though they don't have any quote-unquote healers. But hey, look at that. We are actually going to be playing this game. How amazing. Guys, we got VRFGC. Just going to call them VR because that's a lot easier for me. I'm going to be loading out on the Radiant. QWERTY is on the Venomancer. Study is on the Shadow Demon. Gotta make sure to study, guys. Don't play Dota, go study. Gaming Factory, or no, it's Infinity, I guess, is on the Broodmother. He is going mid. I hate Gray. What did Gray do to you, bro? Gray's not even like in this game anymore. They got rid of Gray and replaced it with like this color that the Sand King is. I don't even know what color that is. Beige. He's on the Mirana. And we had one more. What do we got? No, we already went over study. It's Zool. He's on the Earth Spirit, and oh, Study, he did not read up on this test. He's going to get burst struck, trying to juke out with the Chilling Touch on everybody. He is super dead. Sword is going to grab the first kill of the game. Well played indeed. That is, I'm not really sure why people nowadays go this far on supports when you, like 9 times out of 10, know the enemies are going to be looking for this bounty rune if you're on the Radiant. So it seems kind of foolish to me, but you know what? Yeah, it kills a kill. What else we got? We got Sladin on the Sand King, Yaduki on the Huskar, Madara 666. Is there anyone who can even touch him? I don't know, but it is not that Madara. At least I don't think it's that Madara. It might be in disguise playing in the SA region. Now that would be a twist. We got Mogar on the Ancient Apparition, and that should be that. Sword is going to go all the way up towards topside. Web was used in the mid lane. Looks like Broodmother is not going to go there. Just has a web, trying to mess with the enemies a little bit. But can make that rotation. Now upon seeing the Legion Commander matchup, wonder if Infinity here is going to be at all willing to swap up the lanes. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. Donkey, it was nice knowing you. I mean, everyone applauds your courage and your dedication to your craft. Alas, it is not your day. Smoke for the courier snipe. Now, the courier already got out, gave Madara all of his regeneration. So, the loss of the courier there for Mad Kings is not that steep. It's more so the gain of the VR side, in the fact that they do get the gold slot. And that's not a safe spot. You tried that already. You just took 3 tower shots just trying to test if there's an observer ward there, and there is an observer ward there. So putting 3 heroes on this bottom lane, not really sure if this is going to bear fruit here. The Sand King does have boots, so he can very easily roam out and see if he can get something done on the other lanes, specifically towards mid. A Burrow Strike with Viper damage. Again, you probably won't kill off a Mirana since she has Leap, which is pretty balanced, but you could at least force her, eat that regeneration, maybe even go back to the Fountain or the Shrines when those are up. You do have your options there, but they will just try to keep the Venomancer at arm's length. This is not a dangerous lane, Venomancer and Shadow Demon. I don't know if these two can really touch the Mad King's side. Even though Huskar level 1 is a really, really weak hero, like, you can use Burning Spears, you will spam that, but you will take so much damage in the process. It doesn't really matter. The fact that there is Chilling Touch, and they know there's Chilling Touch, and a Burrow Strike, and they know that there's Burrow Strike, they saw all these spells already, means that if they get close, they will die. And Venomancer's attack range is just not long enough to actually CS safely. Even though Huskar, you know, he's not working with the most range either. Venomancer is just going to get zoned out. It's not going to be fun. Last hit chart might be a little bit inflated for the Legion Commander. Keep that in mind, guys. She is going up against the Broodmother. But, yeah, the Broodmother should probably be doing slightly better than this. I mean, the power of this matchup comes to the fact that you punish Broodmother from making her Spiderlings. And at this point, you can see from the webs, like, Broodmother's plans include going here, trying to hop over here with these Spiderlings, and, you know, use the Spiderlings to harass when she can, but for the most part, try to get value in the neutral camps. For right now, she hasn't been able to really do much of anything there. And Legion Commander, again, 19-2 is definitely a little bit Spiderling inflated, but damn, is it still a lot of cash going her way. Everyone on the VR side is pretty much locked out of these lanes. I mean, the Mirana up against this Viper has been getting quite a bit of help from the Earth Spirit, but again, Viper is pretty much untouchable in this lane. There's simply not enough damage, even though Madara was actually here. Like, in the most vulnerable position a Viper can possibly be, they just don't have a lot of damage to actually kill off a hero as bulky as Viper, who is, by the way, going for the pretty standard Viper build, at least nowadays. Very, very defensive in that corrosive skin. We'll start to see the impacts in the net worth once you do switch over to that, probably about the 10-minute mark. But the Legion Commander right now is having a grand old time. So far had absolutely no impact from the Earth Spirit, although he has tried. We could say that there's a similarly low impact from this Sand King. He's been trying to, you know, wander around a little bit. Not really quite as great as the Earth Spirits. But the Sand King, for right now, just being able to camp out on this bottom lane, get Dookie that farm. He is obviously rushing that armlet. I don't think I've seen Huskar do anything but rush armlet. No, I mean, boots first is even like, that's even a little bit of a detour from the ordinary. Obviously do want the movement speed up against the Venomancer and the Earth Spirit. Boots is absolutely going to get value. But it's just sliding over here. You could still get a... That's not the secret... What? I can't click on the side shop? Bro, come on. Maybe this side shop? What even is this button? Item suggestions? I don't need item suggestions. I want to click on the side shop. So apparently I'm just locked out of the side shop, but I'm pretty sure you can get all of this stuff. Not the recipe, obviously, from the side shop still nowadays. But the big item is the Helm of Iron Will. The armor is not huge in this lane. It's very much so about the regeneration you get. Makes the Burning Spear's cost of 15, which is usually pretty steep, not hurt all that much. And again, it's like it's kind of a budget ring, or a crappy Ring of Regen. It's actually better than Ring of Regen. Actually, costs a lot more, so it's the opposite of budget. But man, it does get some pretty sick value. You guys don't know about that value. Helm of Iron Will. Burrow Strike goes out. Kick will land, or will split them up at least. Try to get Zool and Study a little bit out, and this is really the downside of Huskar. Pre-level 6. He does a lot of damage, but he is slow as crap. And Zool, being the Earth Spirit, is just going to roll on out of there. Easy escape for everyone, but still, there is everyone on VR is going to be on full retreat, whereas everyone from Mad Kings just be chilling. And Zool is now stuck in the river. Burrow Strike is there. He does have a roll out, but he's pretty well surrounded, so I'm not really sure where he can roll. He will drop to the right clicks of Madara. Another Toxin at level 1. That's sick DPS. Yeah, that chase, something that Zool definitely did not expect. He walks over, places the Observer Ward, sees the Sand King behind him, and sees the Viper in front of him. Oh, shit. You're dead. No blades of attack there. That's right. Can't phase boots anymore. Is the delay right? God, they changed the... They changed the delay. In case you guys don't know, there's a big like Twitch bug where only the account can change the delay. And it looks like they changed it without telling me. So now I have to go and restart the stream after this game. So we will have to do that. Scan is going to reveal Sladin, but it doesn't matter because Mirage is dead to the poison. Viper Strike, man. Viper Strike does quite a bit of damage. Good work, Sand King. Good gank. Was almost there. And Zool's going to try to help out as well. And he'll body block the Sand King. Wow, now that's value. Unfortunately, Shadow Demon doesn't gank. Shadow Poison doesn't really do anything. Although, you know, Shadow Poison, if you actually let it stack up, will do quite a bit. But right now, it's just an irrelevant ability, specifically to that Viper. Although, tagging him with an arrow certainly is quite nice. Stick charges, not going to save him. It will bubble the Earth Spirit for some reason. But you know what? They do take down the Viper. Land an arrow, 3 points of corrosive. Not quite going to do it. Honestly, don't expect that to land. Saw the Mirana teleport in, but landing an arrow on a Viper who pretty much has... I mean, it is nighttime, obviously, but when you're in the middle of the lane like that, you do see most of what's going on. Is going to be a much-needed kill here from VR. Meantime, top lane, Legion Commander going for pretty standard Legion Commander things. Is going to be facing up against a Broodmother now, and an Earth Spirit, and a Shadow Demon. She's going to heal off a little bit of this slow, but it's not going to do enough. She's getting body blocked, although with the phase boots and the heals, going to get some help from Sladin. Burrow Strike onto 2 overwhelming odds. Thinking about turning around. She has to be very careful here. She does have a duel, and she really wants to use it. She will commit onto the Earth Spirit with another Burrow Strike. That will actually pop the Earth Spirit, quite literally. Study on the way out. Cold Feet does quite a bit of damage. At level 2 it is. We'll try to chase him down. Overwhelming odds will tag him. It also got amplified by that one wolf that it hit. And hey, look at that. They're right in front of the shrine, so they can get away with that kill as well as walk away with full HP. Kind of nice. In the meantime, Dookie is just chilling on this bottom lane. Actually up against nobody. This is sad, man. Venomancer actually can jungle pretty quickly. You don't want to do that because it's not really the strength of the hero, but if you really need to, you can. The problem is that being level 4 and having 2-point scale doesn't really help you jungle at all. So he's sad. QWERTY is 100% locked out of this lane. And now that there's an armlet on Huskar, and the fact that there is also a life break on Huskar, he's in a lot of trouble. Speaking of a lot of trouble, duel again on top lane. Burrow Strike is there, trying to go for the caustics. They will get the kill. That was a pretty slick way of getting it. We'll be a little bit late for the dual damage, but you know what? It is well worth it in the grand scheme of things, and Legion actually is going to rotate out. Dookie does life break Zool. He will immediately kick and roll out. Still takes quite a bit of damage from that, and with the armlet, And with 1 point inner vitality, with the heals from Legion Commander, it's not really a huge commitment. Qwerty is going to be spotted out here. Cold Feet Sword is going to clean off that Gale. New patch, Venomancer. Where you at? It's gonna be the Venomancer still committing for this Gale. I mean, Gale is a really powerful ability, but going up against a Purge Legion Commander, it is significantly weaker, especially if you aren't going to use it. Like, you have 3 points in the ability, you gotta use it up against these kill opportunities, but again, if you do use it, you know it's, oh, now's the time to use it. Unless Legion Commander doesn't actually want to run, she's gonna turn around and dice the Earth Spirit up. Sword is feeling himself right now. Now here comes the help. AA a little bit slow though. 3 points, Cold Feet does a lot of damage, but not quite that much damage. And they definitely overestimate what a level 4 Earth can do to a level 8 Legion Commander. She is not to be taken lightly, and Gale, even though it did land after the heal, it stuck, but you are battling up against press the attack heal, so that still works. You still get the Gale, but it still doesn't do all that much. Really like this move, in fact. Getting Legion Commander out of that lane, ooh. I think that was supposed to be a setup, and they're like not sure if they wanted to set up for real. In the meantime, this is going on. Qwerty's just getting chased, tower dove by Sword with his swords. That's a dead Venomancer. Easy kill, easy life. AA pushing level 6 incredibly quickly. My god, he's level 5 already. Level 4.5, level 4 on the other side of the supports VR. What is the Sand King at? He's level 6 because, well, I mean, he's been able to solo the lane. But again, the fact that they moved the Legion Commander out to this bottom lane, of course, is going to make it a little bit of an easier time for the Broodmother. But the Sand King is going to be mostly fine in this lane by himself. And of course, the Legion, if you get action, it doesn't matter what lane you're in. Sladin does have to be a little bit careful. Is that Legion's TP? It is. Oh, if they land a Burrow Strike, they can jump in for a big overwhelming odds. There's not much mana, but there's a Soul Ring. Overwhelming odds, how much damage? Well, they actually jump right into the kick. And the silence from the Legion. She is going to still get the overwhelming odds off, but Infinity ducks into the trees. Spiderling Army has been mostly dealt with. That was unfortunate timing there from the Dire side, and very fortunate timing coming in from Zul. Does save the Broodmother. I think Broodmother otherwise just goes down there. But this game state, like, that's not really how VR are gonna get back into it. Like, making defensive plays, not dying, that's all well and good. They really need to start getting some picks. They really need to start using the Shadow Demon, who has picked up 3 points in Disruption. I'm not really sure about this one. Scaling is... Oh, are you dead? Boom. I think he's dead. Yeah, there's an AA level 6, by the way. That's in the game now, and I'm sure Miranda knows about that. They need to start using the Shadow Demon. They need to start cracking into their offensive power. I mean, you have a Venomancer with 3 points Gale. If you're not using it, you're probably losing. Dara is going to get hit with the Demonic Purge. He has quite a few stick charges. Roll in, will connect, and now here comes the Spiderling Army to seal the deal. Dara is going to go down on mid. Kind of alone on that island as the Huskar, though he does have Armlet, not really willing to go in just yet. For sure will be willing to go in, start these fights once the Sand King picks up his Blink, and it is 11 minutes in. Sand King almost has his Blink on top of Arcane Boots. If you're an off-lane Sand King, you're pretty happy with this farm rate. He's not an off-lane Sand King. He's a support Sand King who's 203. Was able to get quite a lot of free time in lane, so Blink Dagger Sand King, 12, 13 minutes. That's going to be a pretty decent timing. It's pretty good. They're going to try to go for Mogre over in this bottom lane, but the TPs were coming in even before they started. Qwerty is in so much trouble. Is going to get blasted by the ice, though. Mogre with all these dots probably is just going to die. It doesn't really matter because here comes the duel. Shadow Demon, you have no honor. They will take him down. I think the AA was actually hit by the Gale. They maybe could have denied that. Was he hit by the Gale? I'm not actually sure. Definitely hit by the Shadow Poison, the Nova. Maybe Gale wasn't used there? Either way. Still, it's going to be a 2-for-1. And for Mad Kings to sack the AA in exchange for 2 kills, that is entirely worth it. Especially since one of them is a dual kill. Especially since Legion Commander has already picked up 2. I mean, the first dual kill is great and everything. But it's really the fact that duels beget more duels. That's what makes her strong, is that she just snowballs out of control. And oh, Dookie is going to get hit with a Moonlight Shadow Gang Starstorm and right clicks. Well, he is going to be able to get the heal on himself. I don't think it's going to be enough. Armlet toggling is pretty hard when you're perma-stunned. They will go in pretty deep, find the Huskar, worth quite a bit for them to get. But again, much like before, the fact that they get these kills, that's really nice. They need to get that a couple more times. Oh, Sladden gonna jump over the Broodmother. He is gonna see Studies trying to approach. Arrow does land onto the Legion Commander, roll in onto Sword, but the Burrow Strike is there. With the right clicks and the duel, once again, the Earth Spirit is overcommitted. That'll give 44 damage. That was a level 2 duel to the Legion Commander. They will very aggressively smoke with no duel. That was spotted by so many observers on the Radiant. So they are doubly revealed. At the center, coming in with the Burrow Strike. It's going to go towards Mirana instead. Great call from Sladden, and they get both of them. Ooh, baby. Did you walk into this observer range just on the edge? She was just revealed, and now the TP back. The Broodmother is chilled up with the poison on him. Going to take her down, and off to the side. Shadow Demon is in the Sandstorm. Not really sure what he can do to get out of this. He has 2 Shadow Poisons. Good luck. Oh, they're keeping him alive so they can get the duel win. Yo, this is just disrespect right now. So disrespectful. Mad Kings, come on, man. I mean, that's the right play. You know that, hey, this guy is super dead. There's a 0% chance he survives. We may as well wait for the duel damage. But, goddamn, that is a slap in the face for real. Overwhelming odds, Burrow Strike. Whew, that's a lot of cash. I wish there was a fight recap for just that Burrow Strike and how much cash that got. Let's call that, it's at least 120, 150 gold. Not bad at all. 9k lead, Mad Kings are rolling. And probably the worst part of this for VR is the fact that Mad Kings are rolling, they've got farm, and they haven't even like started playing with their Huskar yet. Like, he hasn't even joined these fights. He has been farming. It has been mostly just Sword and Sladden here, just setting up fights. Of course, Moger's actually been doing a very good job offensively as the AA as well. But they don't even need the Huskar. He's their secret carry. He is maybe going to get jumped here, but there is backup right around the corner. Ice Blast already out. Arrow is going to miss. They don't even have the combo correct. And now they'll chill up the Mirana. Cold Feet is going to proc. She's going to explode to the Caustic, and Studies once again in the corner. Leave him alive. Get the duel win. No, the duel is elsewhere. Killing off Zool. They don't even need to keep him alive. It's a slaughter. Is there some sort of mercy rule in effect for Galaxy battles? I didn't read the rule book. No one linked it to me. It's not my job to know the rules. But goddamn, this is some brutal Dota. And oh no, we're not done yet. Broodmother, you're dead too, man. Ugh, press F to pay your respects. Jeez, this is one of the most brutally one-sided games I've ever seen. And I've seen some shit, guys. What's going right here for VR? What can they do? I mean, they have a lot of dots here. Maybe with like an Earth Spirit landing and the Magpies on everyone, with the Nova landing on everyone. Like, maybe they can make an even trade there. But I don't really know if that's a real possibility. Hold on, guys. I gotta make sure that the delay is set for the next game. I mean, I'm not calling it, but I don't see what VR can actually do, especially since this is happening. Like, you just jump in, duel any rando that you see. She's dead. They missed the arrow as well. Gotta use them leaps. Well played indeed. So yeah, Sword can actually just go in and kill anyone. Unless she has no true sight. Then you cannot kill them. Or can you? Sword, okay, now he's gonna get bubbled. That's not gonna do anything. His illusions, the Legion Commander's illusions don't get any extra damage. They are pretty weak. The Legion Commander is mostly just all plus damage. Oh, they found a Broodmother. They have no Blink Dagger though, because Sand King was blinking places elsewhere. More people are dying. More people are almost dying. Ice Blast will land. Is that a level 1 Ice Blast still? It is, but barely. It's almost level 2. Oh, Arrow. That's your chance. They don't have press. They kick back the Viper into the tower. He has a Hurricane Pike. Now here comes the Burrow Strike in. That looked like Epicenter, but that was just magnetized. Huskar, though, has joined the fray. And they will just dumpster everyone else. Magnetize is on everyone. Duel in, tier 4s. Nobody cares about tier 4s. Oh, well, maybe they should, because it'll give Study the damage. Yo, comeback time for reals now. They found the Broodmother in the middle of nowhere. tried to go in and cheese out a couple kills. Yeah, maybe the tier 4 is a little bit too far. Maybe that's a little bit excessive. But I'll tell you what, it's okay, because I'm pretty sure 14 damage on the Shadow Demon, even after picking up that Blink Dagger. How much gold did he get? It doesn't say, because it's actually just, the text is too long. I can't see how much gold they got. It was 700 something. They'll try to go for the Huskar, but he has a double life, and it's Huskar, so he's not going to go down without a fight, especially when the Ice Blast comes in. They do take down the first life. They freeze the Earth Spirit with the Cold Feet. Even the neutrals starting to hate on him. They get a double shatter, and now Dookie's back with the Vengeance. He has a life break. There we go, jumping in on the Mirana, and Mirana has no more jumps. Man, that feel when you're riding a lion or a tiger or bear or whatever, and you're getting out-jumped by some guy with a spear. 16k lead here for Mad Kings. That's...
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, they've had like a 700 something gold kill into the tier 4s, and it just doesn't matter. Does that even show up at all? No, I don't think it showed up at all. Yeah, they are just going in. Study is going to get frozen. Madar's just going to right-click fools. Zul's in the middle of everything with Infinity, trying to go for the easiest, only target they can get, but they will all die for it. Arrow will once again land onto the Legion. That will do about nothing, and GG is called. God, this was brutal. If there are any young kids that are watching this game, you shouldn't be. You got to get your parents' consent before watching a game like this. Like, seriously? That's not cool, man. That is just not cool. Is there anything that could be said about this game? Oh, that's new. I don't really, this is just in the new patch, right? The patch that came out like a couple hours ago. I don't know what any of this means, but they got some medals for their win, I guess. 86 duel damage is usually a pretty good amount for the for an end game Legion. 20 minutes in, that's just way too much. Like, there's average, there's way above average, and then there's just too much. That's too much duel damage for Sword. So yeah, the Cheese and the Huskar is pretty good. The Cheese of the Broodmother had some serious issues. That's just what happens when you run into just an absolutely miserable matchup like that. All three lanes had miserable matchups. Guys, I'm going to try to reset the delay because the BTS had that show on here earlier, and they removed the delay, and I gotta fix it up. But I can't, so I gotta get someone else to do it, so that's always great. So the stream will be going down for just about 2 minutes. Rest assured, you will not miss anything. You will be here for all the action. But I'm Mike Loris, and I will be right back for the second game. I hope VR can spit out the gravel out of that first curb stomping, because I don't really want to see two of these games like this. That will just not be fun to watch. I'll be right back, guys.